When Prithviraj Chahamana ascended the throne, his kingdom was instantly in jeopardy. The most immediate threat to his rule was internal, his own cousin, Nagarjuna. This conflict was the result of a generation of friction, a rivalry between two branches of the family that had simmered since the reign of Prithviraj's uncle, Vigraharaja IV. Nagarjuna moved first, seizing the strategic fort of Gudapura, modern-day Gurgaon, and openly defying Prithviraj's authority. For a new ruler, the priority is clear. Power cannot be projected toward distant borders until the home front is secured through decisive, often violent, action. Prithviraj responded with a massive mobilization. He marched on Gudapura with a diverse force of infantry, cavalry, war elephants, and camels, surrounding the fort in a total siege. Under the pressure of the blockade, Nagarjuna fled. He left the fort's defense to his general, Devabhata, who was left to face the Chahamana army alone. Prithviraj's forces eventually broke the resistance, capturing the fort along with Nagarjuna's wife, his mother, and his remaining followers. The Prithviraja Vijaya records a brutal psychological tactic used to finalize the victory. The Chahamana soldiers wove a garland made from the severed heads of the defeated rebels. This trophy was hung across the main gate of the Ajmer fort, a permanent warning to any domestic rivals. This calculated display of violence signaled a shift in the Chahamana court. Prithviraj had transitioned from a young successor into a ruler who maintained order through public, lethal force. Once the internal rebellion was crushed, Prithviraj turned his attention to the Chahamana borders, specifically targeting a regional power known as the Badanakas. We know of this campaign not from a military chronicle, but from a religious text, the Karatara Gacha Patavali, which mentions the victory as part of a theological debate between two Jain monks. This specific debate allows historians to date the conquest to sometime before 1182 CE, marking the point when the Badanakas were effectively removed as a threat. The exact geography of this lost dynasty remains a point of scholarly debate. Cynthia Talbot places their territory in the area immediately surrounding Bayana. However, Dasharatha Sharma argues for a much larger kingdom, stretching across the present-day districts of Bhiwani, Rewari, and Alwar. While the exact borders are lost to time, the outcome was definitive. The Badanakas were dismantled, leaving Prithviraj the dominant force in the region. By his early 20s, Prithviraj had achieved two critical objectives. He had neutralized his most dangerous relative and erased a neighboring rival from the map. Through these campaigns, he established the two pillars of his later rule: the use of overwhelming multi-unit warfare and the deployment of psychological terror to prevent future dissent. The fall of Gudapura and the destruction of the Badanakas ended any immediate challenge to the Chahamana throne from within or without. Prithviraj began his reign facing a contested succession and a fractured family. He emerged from these victories with his rivals dead or in exile, his position at the head of the empire solidified. By consolidating the Chahamana heartland with this level of severity, Prithviraj transformed his kingdom into a centralized power, one capable of mobilizing the massive resources he would eventually need to face the Ghurid invasions from the west.